Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Welcome to another episode of the Unfolding You podcast with me, your host, Erin Smylie Walsh. I'm so pleased that you have decided to join us today. And we're going to be talking around work and that element of worshiping at your desk, worshiping in your work. I think we've got this element where work has become an excuse. Work has become optional. Work has become a defense mechanism. And work has become a boundary. And I'm going to explain that all as we go through today's episode. But my whole thought around working is looking at work as excellence as worship and boundaries as love. So reframing work where excellence is viewed as worship and your boundaries are viewed as love. And for a lot of us, we struggle with that because work is kind of the space of performance. And we can't let people down. And so we just say yes, yes, yes to a whole lot of stuff because it's, work. And we are either working within a structure of a corporate structure or working for somebody, or we are an entrepreneur. And so our work is money mentality. We can't stop. So if we don't place ourselves in situations of being able to work, we're not going to earn. And I feel like work can still be that place where the Lord can work in that space through us, but also can give us tools to be able to navigate our way in work in order to worship Him and to show love in the space we're working. So I want to read from Colossians 3, verse 23, and I'm reading from the NLT. And it says, work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. And I just love that verse because it reframes who we work for. A lot of us have this mentality of, we don't want to put all our effort in because the person we're working for just is undeserving of our best. But yet our work actually is a translation of praise and worship to the Lord. Ultimately, the Lord is who we are doing work for. I'm going to read this again. It's work willingly at whatever you do as though you were working for the Lord rather than people. It's that excellence in what we do that we need to look at. And then I want to read Proverbs 16 verse 3, where it says, commit your actions to the Lord and your plans will succeed. And if we do everything to praise the Lord, those actions will reap rewards and bear fruit, or they will die if not done with the right heart and disposition. So I want to structure today's talk around this 3-step framework of start well, stop well, and serve well. All right, let's look at start well. How do we start our day? Do we start our day in a state of utter chaos, in a state of complete overwhelm? We're consistently just putting out fires right from the word go. And if we don't start immediately, we're never going to get through it. I want us to look at it as, what if we reframe how we start our day, and specifically our work day? If we look at it as pray, prioritize, and plan. Starting the day off with the Lord in His Word, even if it's for 5 minutes. We start the day with the Lord. And then we prioritize our day. So what is super important today? What do I need to get done? How can I focus my time and energy today so that my excellence is seen through it, and I can instill boundaries in order to get them done? Okay? And then plan it out. Is that creating margins of time? Is it switching off devices for a certain amount of time? Is it needing to communicate with certain people that you're not going to be available? This is my plan. This is what I have to get done. Because if we start well, it means that our day can translate well. We can get to the end of the day and we can go, all right, I had actions set out that I achieved. What it does is it allows us to be excellent in that work day because we've started off well. Then the second step is I want us to stop well. Let's review, release, and then rest. So review. What have I done today? Have I been able to get all the elements that I wanted to do that were priorities for the day? Okay? Have I gotten those done? Okay? Is there anything I now need to carry over to tomorrow that will now become a main priority for tomorrow? Then I want to release. All right, I've dealt with that. I'm releasing it. What comes from it, comes from it. I can't hold that captive now. I've released it into that space. And then rest. Like we spoke about in the previous episode, rest is just so important because rest gives us an opportunity to just stop, to hand things over to the Lord, to release our burdens, release the things that we cannot hold captive anymore, release those elements to Him so that we can rest. Is it that you have this practice of, when I leave the office, I'm done? When I close my laptop, I'm done. Nothing's going to interrupt. Is it that you have rest margins within your day? So from 5 to 7:30, that is uninterrupted family time or rest time from work. And then serve well. That is really instilling boundaries. Boundaries that are phrased with kindness. So knowing your limitations, knowing when not to overextend yourself, knowing when you need to say no. Remember I said last week, let us choose to remove one yes from our week or our day. That is a boundary that is phrased with kindness. I would love to be able to attend that function, but Thursdays are my nights at home or my night off. I would love to be able to assist you this week, but next week would actually work better for me. I'd love to connect with you, but I have no capacity for that today. Can we schedule that in for tomorrow? Because when you instill a boundary with kindness, it also protects you from overwhelm and burden. So that is serving you well, that is serving your family well, that is serving your work well when you instill a boundary. I think I had to learn this quite a lot, especially in my early working years. And I think a lot of us have gone through this, where we become quite a workhorse because we're busy growing a career. We don't necessarily have family commitments right now. We don't have a family we need to look after. We don't have kids. We may not be in a relationship. We're kind of like hitting the grindstone with like career and explosion in certain spaces, trying to create a name for ourselves in an industry, striving for a promotion, trying to get work experience in. So there's these pressures that start creeping in where you say yes, 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 and that starts creating this like boss pressure, or this client creeps in to your family time. Your family dinners no longer become family dinners. Your family dinners is overtaken by somebody infringing on your time. And when I had quite a rule. If a client was trying to get hold of me at 7 o'clock at night, they could probably wait till the next morning. Because between 7 and 7 the next morning, there's very little I'm going to be able to do right now. And so I just wouldn't answer phone calls. And the difficulty was my previous partner would be at the mercy of the client, where I was like, I can't be at the mercy of the client because that's going to compromise going forward. Because where will that boundary line be? For some of us, WhatsApp has become a client creep. It's become an infringement in boundaries because you're consistently available. So if I haven't opened up your email or I haven't opened up your WhatsApp, it's not because I don't want to deal with you. It's because I'm not going to deal with it now. So it's going to wait till tomorrow so I can open up when I am in work mode so that I can give you my full attention in that space and then be able to deal with that problem or action right then and there. It's about creating a conversation and navigating expectations with your boss, with your clients, with your family, and then sticking to them. And that's the difficult part, You're the only one that's going to be able to change that narrative in that space. So let's put a table talk down. What boundary would honor God and people this week? What boundary do you need to put in place that is going to honor God and people this week? Because sometimes we got to hit pause for a second and go, I need to instill this boundary because I'm not being healthy to myself even, okay? So I really want you to think about that, reflect on that. Because write down the things that creep in, write down the things that you can't say no to, write down the things that take up a whole lot of time and focus and energy. And then how are we going to deal with them? My challenge for you this week is to set one boundary for yourself and one excellence act for yourself in your work, and to document it and then celebrate it once you've actually done it. And take hold of that. I have to do the same, because I sometimes don't do the start well every day. I don't prioritize starting at first with the Lord. Or I don't prioritize the elements that have to work and planning out my day. I sometimes just let the day take me captive. And those are the days that are so unproductive because I'm not planned for them. So challenge yourself by putting one boundary in place, one excellent act, documenting it, and then celebrating it. And do that this week. And then you can challenge yourself. Let's do 2 boundaries in place and 2 excellence in work. And start documenting it. The minute you document it, that's when you can start seeing and holding yourself accountable to those actions so that they can become daily practices. So I really, really want you to take this, and I hope it's been reflective on where you're at, and I hope you've been able to look at it with different eyes. I'm not saying that your boss and your hierarchical channels in your work are unimportant. I'm not saying that. They are important. But what overflow do they create in your everyday? And does that overflow infringe on you being able to hold a boundary in place? Because if it does, then you need to start looking deeper into that dynamic. And a lot of us don't want to do that because we don't necessarily want to look at those elements with microscopic eyes. But what is the Lord trying to reveal to you? My last thought is your spreadsheet can sing worship. Can be like, number 1, if your heart is yoked in Jesus. Just take that. How are you doing the work? With what disposition of heart are you doing the work? And I think that reframes how we show up at work. It reframes the way we do work and the manner in which the work is going to be received by others. So I really, really hope today has been encouraging for you. Please share this with a friend that you feel may need a little bit of encouragement in this space and a reminder, or is struggling to create boundaries and put frameworks in place in order to keep them accountable to the day. But if you've liked this episode, please subscribe. Please leave your comments. I'd love to hear how you are trying to put boundaries in place in your workday. But until we meet again, bye-bye.